Looks like with the latest dumping of snow that we got and our very rough roads, it finally did in my suspension, I guess. Never seen a strut snap down there before. There's the rest. That's supposed to be in there. That's supposed to be down in there. Wow. Everything else looks all right. Other than I got to take a torch and like melt some of this ice off. Like I just cleaned all this off as much as I could at the car wash, but my God. Oh, I guess that's what I'm doing right now. Oh yeah. Snap that thing right in half. That's crazy. So far so good, no other damage. Stupid roads. Alright, so winter time is almost upon us here. Time to bring in the old winter beater. Get it ready. Get it ready before the snow actually stays. Like it's pretty much melted now, but it's been snowing on and off here and there, so time to get it ready. Got my new tires, ready to go. Yeah. Got the one studded tire on there from last year still. Gonna jack it up, change the front tires, check everything out, check the back, check the, make sure the drums aren't seizing up on the inside again. Usually they get a little ridge that builds up in there. Usually I gotta grind that ridge off, or she just starts grabbing, and then next thing you know, you're in a tailspin on ice. Other than that, yeah, fixed this stuff up about 3-4 years ago now. Not really fixed it up, I just kind of said screw it, weld it, make it look good enough to pass the safety. It's still holding though. Like, I mean, all the welds and everything are still there. Everything's still sealed up. You know, still pretty solid on the bottom. No holes yet, so I mean, considering I never really did anything, didn't treat it, nothing. Maybe just a little bit of trim clad. And yeah, it's only a beater. Picked this thing up cheap, like $800 or whatever it was. Yeah, $800. I got $800 into this whole car. $800. That's it. You know, that's what it took to put it on the road. So I mean, it was cheap. The interior wasn't great. It's better now. I took parts out of another car I had. That was hopefully going to replace this one. It was a little Sunfire, but it was so rusty. It was so rusty that there was no trunk even left. I was actually very shocked. It was more rusty than this thing. It didn't look that bad from the pictures, but you know, and even when I brought it home, it still didn't look that bad. So I took it apart and noticed that there was no trunk left, and I said, well, why play with it? So I took but the interior was immaculate, so I took most of the interior out of that, stuck it in this thing. New carpet, the seats are really nice. I fixed the shifter. I used a lot of parts out of that car and put it in this one. And yeah, even had one of these mats in that other car. Cover up the whole back. That's sweet. Yeah, so time to do some more work to it. I did an inner and outer tie rod here, and because of COVID, I had to wait for the parts, which was really bad, ridiculous. But you know, it is what it is. Yeah. Just finished welding the exhaust hanger back up. Because, you know, that's always an issue with these things. Winter beaters, always losing the hangers, falling apart and whatnot. But after 3 years, all this patchwork I did, let's just put it this way, just for a beater like this, you know, just a, you know, winter driver, winter beater, who cares if it gets wrecked kind of deal. Doesn't have to be pretty. I even still got all the set screws in here. 3 years later, it's still in there. I clean up as much of the rust as possible, and then what I do is I take it and I clean everything off. You know, well, you can kind of see here the paint came off already. But this has all been down cleaned metal. And then I go and I form my shape. And then I take urethane and I'll glue it in with urethane first. You know, all the way around, all into the whatever seams I got here. All underneath, the same thing. Seal it right off and screw it where I need it to be screwed into. And then I start zapping it. And once it's all zapped, then, yeah, and she's completely sealed. It doesn't really rust through afterwards, really. You know, and that's, like I said, this wasn't meant to be pretty. Actually, this car wasn't even meant to be driven this long. It was just meant to last maybe a year, maybe two. And, you know, I'm going on, I think, year number 4 with it. So I think this might be the last year I use this car. I don't know. We'll see. It still needs a lot of stuff to, you know, start to go, you know. But other than that, all in all, it's still solid. Like, it's still not rusted through anywhere. The door's starting to get a little rough here. This here is now gone. You know, this was solid. Now it's all gone. All that is still intact. This is still intact. And all this was a long time ago. I bought a bunch of really nice, clean fenders for Cavaliers and Sunfires. And this is a front fender I put on. Same with this side. This here is actually a front fender as well. It was the same contour, so I just cut it, put it on. There it is. Cut everything, like I said, I cut everything out that was bad in here. Sealed it all up, inside and out. Paint's starting to come off now. Same as inside there. I sealed everything up inside. Around the gas cap here. This was actually a different fender. It had the lip, so I put that on. Fit nice. So I mean, on the cheap. That's what this car is all about. On the cheap. And what else? The almighty 2.4. Way better than the 2.2s as far as I'm concerned. You know, unfortunately, it has the ABS in it. I do not like the ABS. I had a Cavalier and that little Sunfire I had that I got most of the parts off of did not come with ABS. I was so nice, so ecstatic and impressed. Because the last Cavalier I had, I shouldn't have got rid of it. I should have just kept it around until one of these showed up. Just threw this 2.4 in it. But it was an 03 Cavalier and it did not come with ABS brakes. Best dang car I ever had. As far as stopping in the snow is concerned. Because I hate ABS. Once you get one tire on ice, you are not stopping. I really, really detest having ABS. But all in all, like I said, for a beater, this thing has been solid. And I have my upgraded fan, I'd call it. You know, wintertime, especially driving on the highway or whatever, I actually don't need a fan. So the fan stopped working because the sensor, I guess, is gone. Whatever runs that, forget where it is. So I just ran a wire inside. So when I'm stuck in traffic in the city, I just flip the switch and I got a full-time fan. Works really good. Especially in summer, like this thing never overheats like that. Whereas before it would overheat, and it would actually overheat sitting in traffic, even with the fan working. So that's a way better system. I like it. I wouldn't mind putting a dual fan in there from like an Alero or whatever. I still have one, but the motor's all seized up on it. So I'm sure I can get new motors for it. Other than that, no real leaks, no real mess. I fixed half the leaks on it already. This thing here, I always gotta, because this gets a lot of snow and salt and whatever else, so this actually seizes up on me all the time. so I have to soak that every month. Other than that, it's time to get these big tires on. Huh, that's strange. These bigger tires don't quite clear. Huh. That's very odd, because I've had tires that size on here before. Well, no big deal. I'll fix that right away. There. Perfect. Now it should clear. I normally don't bother with aluminum rims in winter, but I don't have any 16 steelies, so that kind of sucks too. Ah, you see, that's why that other side didn't clear. That other side is a brand new strut, whereas this side here is more OE. You can see how much room is in between this one compared to that other one I had to move over. That makes sense now. It's kind of throwing me off there. So I remember last year I broke it off and had to replace it. Last year I had oversized tires, no problem. They fit, no problem. Lots of clearance. Just not on the other side, that's all. Pretty slick. Another thing when you're working on these things is always get yourself a good set of wipers. You know, you can't beat getting a good set of wipers, especially in wintertime. You know, you're going to spend the money on them anyways. They last about maybe a month, no matter what. In our conditions up here in Canada, but you know, to break down a good, you know, figure out what's a good set of wipers. Project Farm has a good breakdown on what wiper is the best money, you know, best bought for your money. Yeah, so go check out his channel and see what you can find on there. But yeah, always spend money on those. Also, another thing I like to use is these here. Acorns with the screw-on covers. These caps, they do wonders to keep all the dirt and debris and dust and rust, and keeps it from getting rusty in here, so you don't have to struggle too much trying to get these things off when they're seized on. Well worth the money. You can get these right any junkyard. Fill your pockets with them. They don't even care. Like, psh, get them out of here because it's plastic anyway. They don't care. Oh. Yeah, what's that sound? Sounds like my neighbor's got Devin Townsend just cranked over there. Excellent. Yeah, so also with these things, it's important to have one of these in the car at all times. Yeah. Usually I got about 2 spares in here. I got the one, studded one. It's the other thing too, these front wheel drive cars in the wintertime, I find that having the studded snow tires on the back of the car are actually very beneficial. Because all they do is they just rotate or whatever. Sometimes snow will get built up in here, and your tire will actually stop spinning. And then you're in trouble. So that'll definitely keep you keep a lot of traction on the road for you. I haven't put the other one on yet, but you know, I'll go with that for right now. You know, warning stuff just in case. Safety. You got your oil, you got your antifreeze, and I only have half a jug of this, so I'm going to have to stock up on this stuff big time, by the looks of things. Usually I got about 2 or 3 of these too. You know, obviously something for your tire. This thing, well, I got to take it in for warranty. But yeah, usually I got just a breaker bar in here for lug nuts. And or the wherever that bar is, the other one you get. And then I'll carry a trolley jack in here too, which is over there. It's not in the car quite yet, because the trolley jack is way safer than that other jack, even though I still have the other jack in here. I like the trolley jack a lot better, and it's a lot faster too. Other than that, not much else. Like I said, I still got to get my other spare in here. Get some more washer fluid. Stock up on that. Of course, a snow brush. Can't go anywhere without one of those. Well, got myself another vehicle here. Somebody dropped it off as a donation. Thank you very much. You know who you are. Yeah. Just another scrapper. Nothing special. Something to throw, you know, scrap in. You know, it'll be my scrap bin, basically. I'll take whatever's good on it. You know, take these off because they're usually, they go. So I'll keep those around. Other than that, she's just a pile. I heard the engine was seized, and well, yep, the engine is definitely seized. I love it when these bush beaters show up. I just threw a new tire on here because, well, the other one's flat. So now I can at least move it around the yard. Especially like the decoration on the side here. Some real nice artwork there. So I'll probably lower the windows down the rest of the way and pull the fuel tank out. So we really don't need that in there anymore. And get it ready. Just start loading it up with some junk. I'll park it back there with the rest till I'm ready to take it out of here. I love donations, especially like this. Well, got myself another vehicle here. Somebody dropped it off as a donation. Thank you very much. You know who you are. Yeah, just another scrapper. Nothing special. Something to throw, scrap in. It'll be my scrap bin, basically. I'll take whatever's good on it. Take these off because they're usually, they go. So I'll keep those around. Other than that, she's just a pile. I heard the engine was seized, and well, yep, the engine is definitely seized. I love it when these bush beaters show up. I just threw a new tire on here because, well, the other one's flat. So now I can at least move it around the yard. Especially like the decoration on the side here. Some real nice artwork there. So I'll probably lower the windows down the rest of the way and pull the fuel tank out. So we really don't need that in there anymore. And get it ready. Just start loading it up with some junk. I'll park it back there with the rest till I'm ready to take it out of here. I love donations, especially like this. Hey Jaws, this one's for you. Look at that old school system. 1950s or 60s, I can't remember what year this actually is. I know you would enjoy that. And possibly that too.